We are no longer physicians. We're providers.
Ask your baby's permission.
Gay people, you have become a product. Should auto insurance cover STD? Are you freaking kidding me? So you demean us. You don't get a parade for a sexual preference. To not hurt the feelings of somebody with a fraction of my training. That a beaver's ass presented this to the world. It's a natural flavor. But you are literally an ice cube in a martini shaker. All right, welcome back to Doc Tales with Cocktails. I have my happy cocktail shirt on, which is just amazing. We're trying a little different production, trying to up the game just a little bit with our producer, Jeff. It's just amazing. And we have some amazing shows, or actually stories to get to today. Crazy Oregon news. And then on our new state, yes, DeSantis versus Satan. You can't make this up. Why Idiocracy, the movie from 1995, is actually prophetic. And in the diseases you don't want to get, we have a good one for summertime. Yes, we do.
Diseases you don't want to get in summertime?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that. Well, all I can say is, yes, after the initial setup for today and the change of the venue's the same, but the change of production, I'm ready to drink to that because, wow. This is a lot of work, cameras and audio, and I'm not techie. And anyway,
yeah, but let's do the work, which is hopefully
we'll share what we're drinking later,
informing and entertaining people. So, all right, here we go. Crazy Oregon news.
All right, what do you got?
Oregon doctors could soon lose their license under microaggressions under proposed medical board rule. So I did about 40 minutes on this with Rick Dancer on his show, Get Real with Rick Dancer. And it's really crazy. So the Oregon Board of Medical Examiners are the ones that control your state license. You have to have a state license to practice medicine. So if your license is taken away, it's worse than getting sued because you can't earn money in that state. And if you go to another state, you're going to have to explain to them why your license was taken away.
All right.
So
I have so many thoughts.
Yes. So microaggressions, but let me just, before you jump in here, May, America is the land of opportunity. I believe the most qualified person should get the job, and America is a melting pot, are all harmful microaggressions, according to Columbia professor Derald Wing Sue. Take it from here, sweetie.
America is a melting pot is a microaggression statement?
Yes. Because, because it has to be something that can be interpreted by a minority.
Oh,
that it could irritate or offend them. So if you're a white male, you can't be microaggressed against.
Ooh, that's even more racist. Or it has to be something that could be interpreted by a minority as a holy cow. Well, first of all, microaggressions by doctors. So I'm assuming, people are gonna, I think, assume that it's not microaggressions happening to doctors, because man, does that happen on the daily?
Or macroaggressions, exactly, for that matter.
Right? So it's only one-sided. It's if doctors microaggress. This is patients, not staff or anybody.
No, it's
else.
anybody. No, it's anybody. No.
Oh.
Under Oregon, listen to this article.
So what about the reverse? What about if there microaggressions happen to a doctor?
Well, I'm microaggression free because I'm a white male, so I cannot be microaggressed against, unless maybe
that's right.
I'm short, so maybe they could do some microaggression against my height or something.
How do they know that you're white? You might be. I think mulatto is a term you can't use it anymore.
Well,
you might be.
There's every term you can't.
You might be black, and how do people know? That's a prejudice.
Yes. But you have to read this to it's
okay, I'm getting way off topic. But
under Oregon law, doctors who fail to report unprofessional conduct from themselves or a colleague within 10 business days can face severe penalties, including loss of license. The state's medical board is in the process of shoehorning microaggressions, innocently intended behaviors interpreted by women or minorities to be subliminal communications of bias.
Wait,
subliminal communications of bias.
Interpreted? That part interpreted by women or minorities, right? Not interpreted by men,
or not interpreted by rational human beings.
Interpreted by women. or minorities. Holy smokes. Okay. So if I, as a female doctor, say something, microaggress, this is so stupid where we're at, even against a male patient, then it doesn't count because it's not a woman.
I have no idea.
Who makes this shit up?
No, this is
so
a way.
Stupid.
This is a way to get rid of anybody you want to get rid of just by saying they said something that offended you, and that's enough.
It's a way to get rid of men physicians.
Correct.
Because
but this is
think about it.
Right.
Because if you're offending women or minorities, so a white male then can't be microaggressed against, and I guess a man could microaggress.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous because if you want to talk minorities, we graduate more female medical students now than we do male medical students. In certain professions, for instance, gynecology, there's nary a man obstetrician gynecologist in the world. So you would be a huge, not in the world, but in the United States. So if you're a male gynecologist, you are like the minority of all minorities, right?
Right.
So what if you go into the break room and they're like, oh, there's too many, there's these men they don't know how to handle women. They never had a baby, so they shouldn't deliver, whatever. Like I would say that would count. Well, it wouldn't count because according to this, if you're a white male, you're screwed.
This whole thing, okay, first off, before you even dive into the ramifications of this, is how it's all the wording and how it's set up. So it's, like I said, if it's against a woman, women, or minorities, I mean, that tells you right there who wrote this stuff. And
right.
And this is
someone with a micro penis.
Or none. How about no penis?
But listen to this. This is the end of the article. The Oregon statute under which microaggressions would now be penalized defines unprofessional conduct as things like willful performance of any surgical or medical treatment which is contrary to acceptable medical practice and standards, and willful and repeated ordering or performance of unnecessary laboratory tests. So, fraudulently doing medical stuff to somebody. Other examples of unprofessional conduct include possessing child pornography and masturbating in front of patients. Wow. That is in the Oregon statute as examples of unprofessional conduct. But America is a melting pot, is somehow going to be in the same melting pot as masturbating in front of patients. And people say, why did you leave Oregon?
Oh my gosh.
You can't make this up. And the thing is, even if they vote to not accept this, the fact that they've even considered it, the fact that these are the people that run that state. If you were a physician in Oregon, get the hell out of there. You're run by lunatics. This is insane that it didn't just come up as an agenda item. I've been in tons of board meetings. People look at it, they go, no, this is dumb, next.
Yeah, but
the fact that it wasn't, this is dumb, next, tells you everything you need to know about that freaking place.
It's frightening because, okay, when you take it on the serious level, if this goes through, Oregon's going to be screwed because physicians, they're going to be leaving there in droves.
Well, the first guy that jokes around, that's actually the ultra liberal whatever, right? And says some joke and gets hammered for a microaggression. And he thought he was bulletproof because, he was always politically bulletproof. And I've worked with tons of those guys. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, what in the hell?
Came and bit him on the ass because you voted for it.
Yep. As Obama used to say, elections have consequences.
But as you were talking about with Rick Dancer on the show and getting into the patient care is going to suffer because of it, because no doctor then is going to be honest with the patient.
Nope.
They're going to keep their mouth shut.
Nope.
Instead of being able to honestly come out and say, you need to lose weight. This isn't any kind of statement that the patient interprets as a microaggression, that the physician is, looking out in their best interests, but is being honest. Now they're not going to say anything. Exactly. That's a classic one, is perhaps, your weight is an issue. Your obesity is
affecting
your health.
Shaming me. Well, if that's what it takes to get you healthy, I'll shame you all day long.
So anybody that
it just doesn't make any sense.
Anybody that is not on board can interpret that as a microaggression.
All right.
I don't know.
We could do this story. We could rant on this one for the entire show, but we need to go from the insane side of the country to the less insane side, which is Ron DeSantis versus Satan. Again, you can't guess. That is awesome.
Actually,
I love that lead.
Their eyeballs are the same in that picture.
Yeah,
they have an unbearable likeness.
It's great. So great story in The Guardian. So what happened was Ron DeSantis decided that he would like to have chaplains available in schools. Okay. And so this has happened numerous times. It's happened in Florida before. The Satanists get all up in arms. They say that they're a religion, and if there's going to be after school Jesus club, there has to be after school Satan club, or ass after school Satan. I shit you not. So at any rate, so DeSantis is like, no, bite me. You're not a religion. You're just a bunch of kooks, and we're going to have chaplains. And if you want to have he didn't say what religion, but like, he's not saying specifically Christianity. And so then the Satanists got all up in arms and could be walking through so this article is great. Dark messengers of Satanism could soon be walking the hallways of Florida's public schools. And it's a consequence of hard right Governor Ron DeSantis' push for more religion in education.
Sure.
Members of the Satanic Temple say that they're poised to act as volunteer chaplains under a state law that took effect this week, opening campuses to additional counseling and support to students from outside organizations. Although House Bill 931 leaves the implementation of chaplain programs to individual school districts and only requires schools to list a volunteer's religion, if any, DeSantis has made it clear its intent is to restore the tenets of Christianity, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay. I don't know what's clear about this, but at any rate,
parents should be up in arms. So if you asked parents and said, okay, if we're going to have religion clubs or whatever after school, and you can participate or not participate, most people would just go, whatever, fine. But if you said Satanists have to be allowed, the whatever it's called, the Satanist club, has to be included. People would be like, no. Okay, so how many people do you think are going to be, even if you're not a Christian, are going to be opposed to Christian clubs? It's just like, well, I just won't send my kid, or I don't believe in that, so they won't go. Islamic club, Buddhist club,
right?
Pick your thing, Mormon club.
But the thing it gets crazier.
But Satanist club, I mean, that's just harmful and not helpful.
Well, but it's more, it's just weirdos, and that's the thing, right? Like, so we way back over a year, 18 months ago, we did DocTales about the Satan Con, and how they're committed to not having government overreach and doing whatever they want and worshiping basically science. They say they don't worship Satan. And so that's what DeSantis is saying. You can't be a religion because you claim you don't worship anything. So if that's the case, it's not a religion. Screw you. You can't be a chaplain. So that's kind of what he said, right?
Satan Con.
So remember Satan Con? So I think it was Bob Memory or one of those guys on Instagram went and interviewed these people that were going into Satan Con, right? And so Satan Con was dedicated to no interference from outside forces and dedicated to science. But remember, you had to wear a mask to Satan Con, and you had to have proof of vaccination because Satan doesn't want to get the sniffles. The sniffles for Beelzebub are really a problem because every time he sneezes, he burns the whole freaking place down, right? So that's what it is. So Bob Memory or one of these guys online goes there and starts interviewing these people. And it's hilarious because they're all the purple hair helmet people that live in their parents' basement at 45 years old that didn't fit in. So now they have a club where they fit in with other weirdos. So that's really what it was. So these guys are just provocative weirdos. And DeSantis, I think rightly, is calling their bluff. And we'll see where this ends. But there's
always some extreme idiots out there that try to make the rules fit their bullshit.
There is. So what are we drinking today? We're actually non-alcoholic.
It's the morning club today. We've got our little cup of Joe.
Stumptown Coffee Roasters, Holler Mountain.
Holler Mountain is the flavor.
Is the flavor.
The blend.
Organic coffee with creamy and caramel blend.
Stumptown.
From
I would
Portland.
love it if they would sponsor our show.
But they probably
voted for the microaggression implements. So I don't know. I'm just guessing.
We don't know. Although the last time we made a communism joke about an Oregon company, they were the least communist of anyone that we've ever worked with. So there's that.
There you go.
Stumptown. They did name Stumptown after killing trees, though, not after the stump that's left after someone cuts their genitals off because they're trans. That's a different Stumptown.
Now it's
appropriate for Portland, but a different Stumptown.
You know, maybe they could change their logo on the front of this thing, because right now it is a horseshoe on, I don't even know what this thing is. Oh, it's a good luck charm on something. But yeah, anyway. You can get Stumptown. We did not get that shipped. You can buy it locally here at our fresh market.
They ship it the whole 3,500 miles across the country.
That's right. So if they would like to ship it directly to my mailbox.
They may not, because they know that DeSantis and Satan are having a throwdown.
There you go.
All right, next.
Cheers. And I need to. We
could
have put some Baileys in this stuff, I think.
Well, we could have put that chocolate liqueur from the
the chocolate cocoa vodka.
Yes, from the Loaded Cannon.
The Loaded Cannon Distillery. That would have topped that off very nicely.
Okay. What do we have next? Oh, we have Idiocracy as prophecy. Yes. So the 1995 movie Idiocracy was almost prophetic. Apparently, I have to double check this, but it was on social media, so it's true. They looked for the goofiest shoes that they could find to make these people look really dumb, and they found this brand new company that was emerging, and they said those shoes are so stupid and awful, no one's going to buy them, and everyone will laugh at it, for years to come in the movie. And if you look closely, apparently, at the movie Idiocracy, they're all wearing Crocs.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
So there was that prophecy. But no, there's this.
I just had my Crocs on yesterday when I was doing some yard work.
There's this prophecy. I need it up on the screen there for birthing people. Okay, this is from the New England Journal of Medicine, the number one journal, at least in the United States, probably the world. It's them and the Lancet, depending on what side of the pond you're from. Black birthing people are more likely than white counterparts to face life-threatening conditions, example, preeclampsia and postpartum hemorrhage and pregnancy complications. From the New England Journal of Medicine, the brain trust of medicine for the entire world, black birthing people. You mean women?
But are they women?
No, they're black birthing people.
Maybe they're not women. Maybe they are men with a uterus now trying to
well, that's what they're trying to say.
I'm even confused. I don't know what that means. And I'm a physician. Are they trying to say women and just be politically correct? Are they trying to even...
Man, that yelling when you have a cold is bad for you.
It is.
Yeah.
Are birthing people that aren't born women that are now trying to be women with a uterus? Or does it include anybody that's trying to have a baby? I don't even know what the hell that means. So... I'm confused, and I'm a doctor. And maybe that says a lot about me, and I'm not with it. But I don't really give a shit.
Well, no, I don't.
No one's a birthing person.
But here's the point. They used to talk about the war on women, right? Republicans have a war on women. They're anti-abortion, and they want to keep you. It's the Handmaid's Tale. You're just a breeder, and all of this completely outlandish stuff, right? And then you go, but war on women. How about a 6'2" tall kid running in high school track that's a boy that says he's a girl? That's a war on women. Saying black birthing people instead of black women, that's the war on women. Who's who's actually got a war on women?
Come on, and
come on. It's not
say
conservatives that are like, you know what? Maybe it's good to stay. It's like Tucker Carlson, right? Maybe it's good to stay home and have a bunch of babies. You'll be more fulfilled than if you're, a defense attorney. Well, that may be true for a lot of women. But if you even talk about it, somehow that's a war on women. But some guy saying he's a chick and going to UFC and punching a woman until her skull was broken, which actually happened. That's not a war on women. No, that's actually a guy punching a woman. That's a war on women.
That's a boxing person boxing another boxing person until their skull's broken. Can you imagine if we did that?
Up.
Okay, why don't the Olympics do that? Why aren't they all
swimming people? There's some.
No. So what I mean is, so Leah Thomas is booted out, rightfully so. But I just meant in general. What if we just called the news and said, "Oh, now the swimming people are swimming their race"? Even then, how do we identify?
Well, there'll be no.
What's the women's team and the men's team?
Well, there won't be. I mean, that's the point. If this goes to its logical, if this illogical idiocy goes to its logical conclusion, there's no women's sports.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're using the term, you could still segregate them, a women's race and a men's race, but technically, using their verbiage, you have to just call them swimming people, no matter what.
Right.
And then you don't know who's racing.
Correct. Because
do you know what I mean?
Because there's obviously no biological differences between men and women, right? And it's just like, and that's the problem. That's why you can't give the language away. You can't give the English language away to these people because they'll manipulate it, and because it matters deeply. It's like, no, it's men and women. No, gender and sex they're interchangeable. Sorry, you got Beans and Franks, you're a boy. That's your gender and your sex.
When are people going to stand up and just start calling BS on this language?
Well, and that's the point. You can't let the language police in, because if you give them an inch, they'll take 100,000 miles. And it's exactly, I saw an interview with Steve Bannon on Great Britain News Network or whatever, and it was awesome. He says, you got to get to the point where it doesn't matter what they call you. They're going to call you a transphobe, a homophobe, a phobophobe, a jelly beamophobe, a racist, an anti-thisist, or whatever. He goes, you don't care. Like, when you don't care what you're called and you speak honestly, all of a sudden you have all this power.
Well, I do care what I'm called, and I'm not going to be called a birthing person.
Right, but
so I'm offended by that.
No, I get what you're saying, but they're not. They're saying that
I'm going to use their terms and say I'm offended by that. I am a woman, and people that have babies are women.
Hear me roar.
So get behind all the women. They're not birthing people, and we don't want to be called that. And for
that's what happens.
Half a micro% that are trying to do that.
No, we'll piss off 99.999% of the population, so we don't piss off 0.01% that's clearly mentally ill. That's what's just so complete. Right. That's the insanity. That is the idiocracy.
And the sad thing is yeah, you're right. It's all about taking away I feel like it's taking away women's rights.
Well, it is. But the biggest disappointment for me is, where are the women?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, they should have pitchforks and freaking torches at this shit.
Maybe
it should be like, where's the American College of Gynecology coming out, who again, a profession dominated by women, right? And say, this is insane. Women have babies, not birthing peoples, you dipshits, but they're completely on board with this.
Maybe we need a protest saying we are not birthing people.
Well, I know I'm not. Although I have birthed a kidney stone, and it sucked. It was very, very painful.
There you go. You've earned that title.
So I'm a birthing person too then.
You are.
It's just that it was a little tiny grain of sand.
Yes. And where is it now?
I picked it out of the toilet and I went, wow, that little thing really made a lot of problems. And then I flushed it down the toilet. So I am also a birthing person.
You mean you didn't save it and put it in a jar on your fireplace mantle so many patients have done?
Like some people with...
remember
that woman that saved the umbilical cord?
Yes.
For the scrapbook?
She did.
And made it into a heart?
She put a heart
of dried umbilical cord jerky
around her.
Pictures of her
I think
child.
It was a son. Doesn't matter.
Yes. It was dried umbilical cord jerky.
That was the creative memories, all right. That's creative memories for you. Can you admit, like, seriously, I saw that. I was just about to gag. Yeah. I thought the gallstones.
The gallstones on the mantle.
On the
that
mantle
one's
was one thing, but the dried umbilical cord.
Yes.
In the photo album.
Whatever happened to bronzing babies' shoes?
I have those, and I threw them out when we moved.
That's too bad, because that's a real throwback to the 50s and 60s.
Oh, what are we going to do with those?
All right. We got one more story, which is don't get this.
Don't get this?
Don't get this. Ew! Ah, yes. Wearing contacts in the shower can lead to permanent eye damage. Acanthamoeba keratitis is an eye infection that can be contracted while wearing contacts in bodies of water or while showering. And look at how great that looks. Because literally there are microscopic amoebic parasites crawling around in that poor person's.
See them, as well as the what is that, a layer
cornea.
Of pus at the bottom?
No, it's just an occluded. It's a cloudy cornea.
It looks like a.
It's just really gross.
Oh,
it's
looks
awful.
Like pus that is settled. So I'm thinking, with the way our water tastes, coming out of the tap or the faucet.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be a real hazard in these swampy, hot conditions.
Well, so it's interesting. So I read up on this because that's what I do. I'm here to inform, not practice medicine over the interwebs, but to entertain and inform. So yes, I understand exactly what's going on with this. There's about 50. It's very rare. There's 1,500 cases in the United States a year, so not that many cases. It is awful because it's super uncomfortable because it's in your cornea. Like these bugs are crawling in your cornea, which are literally, the cornea. It's like every single nerve ending feels like it ends in your cornea, and it's very, very difficult to treat. Months and months of treatment. Sometimes they have to go in and peel the outer layer of your cornea off and hope to God they get it. And in very rare cases, if it's really bad and not treated promptly, you get a corneal transplant.
Dang. So is it IV antibiotics, topical?
No, it's all topical because you got to kill the little buggers right where they live. And so, I'm not sure if this amoeba, 1,500 out of 365 million. Like 1,500 cases a year
in the U.S.
Yeah. So compared to 55,000 people dying in car wrecks, it's not very common. The problem is it's 90% of the people that get this wear contact lenses because the thinking is they live in water. I think it's fresh water. I don't think they live in marine water. You need fresh water in your eyes. And then with the contact lenses sitting on there, you have like way higher, longer exposure of the bug to penetrate your cornea. Or if you have a corneal injury, you get a corneal abrasion and then you put your contact in and then it has, grimy water or you didn't clean it correctly.
Right. I wonder if this is in people that have the if there's a difference, would make sense. It would be in people that have the continuous wear contacts instead of the ones that
the dailies.
The dailies would be better. The dailies would be better because you swap them out. But I guess it wouldn't matter if you get that bacteria or the amoeba in your eye, put a contact over it, it can still embed.
But it was funny because I was thinking about before I had LASIK surgery and I was wearing contacts. The only time I wore contacts is when I was in water.
Yeah.
I mean, I wore for water skiing and windsurfing.
Yeah,
and so
like people want to be able to see when they're in doing sports in the water. That makes sense. Or you're out boating, you don't want to have to deal with glasses and prescription glasses like I do, and prescription sunglasses. That's what I
used my contacts exclusively for sport. I'd get up in the morning, I'd run it, take them out, put glasses on. And then if I went to the lake or if I was skydiving or whatever, that was it, right? Otherwise it was, and then LASIK surgery. And so that solved that problem.
I wonder if there's specific areas of the country where it's more endemic, like the Ozarks or I'm just throwing that out there. Don't know.
If you wear contacts and have married your cousin, no. I didn't find that. I didn't find that. Gosh. There's risks for other things in that, but not amoebic keratitis.
Sounds like something you don't want to get. That's for sure.
Something you don't want to get. Oh. Yeah, that's for sure. We have, anyways.
I thought it was going to be like a disease from the drive-in or something.
No, we'll get to more.
Nobody goes to the drive-in anymore.
We'll get to more we'll have this segment, some of these segments on a regular basis. The Crazy Oregon news, maybe every single week, because the place is a burning down shit show.
Ripe full of news. And it's all crazy.
Full. It's a target-rich environment. Yeah. But the don't get this. We'll have a few of those too. Plus other like wacky diseases. Like there's just some stuff where you're like, we did that one a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, the hair thing where you grow like wolf boy hair, the hypertrichosis or whatever it is. People that are like wolf men.
Is that the name of what you have is called?
No, they're like literally wolf people. And I have the opposite. I have as you get older, the hair, it's like the hair grows in.
We know.
And then out of your ears.
Everybody knows. It grows in the places it's not supposed to grow.
Right.
And stops growing in the places
it's supposed to.
It should grow.
Right. Like to there, right? Like that would be.
And yes.
Okay. Well, on that note,
all right,
we'll wrap this bad boy up.
Are you going to drop a little hint on what's coming on the podcast this week?
Yes. Podcast this week is Chris Cooksey. Really cool guy, has a very successful YouTube presence in the motocross world. And he is going to talk to us about motocross. No, he's going to talk to us about treating traumatic brain injury with ketamine. Because let's be honest, kids, motocross and traumatic brain injury kind of go together.
Interesting.
So he's got a real interesting story about his journeys through traumatic brain injury and recovery with ketamine, which is pretty cool. Which is interesting because if you're in the motorsports world like I am, John Force has just been admitted to a rehab facility for TBI because he hit the wall at 75 miles an hour. No, he didn't. He hit the wall at 75 years old at 300 miles an hour.
Well, we did
we wish him the best.
A couple of years ago about traumatic brain injury with Jamie Mo Crazy, the X Games athlete, and she crashed hard and was in a coma. And
she was in a coma for days.
Yes, and in the hospital for,
well, by the time she was done rehab, I think by the time she was done rehab, it was over a year.
And
great episode though.
How she recovered without ketamine or drugs is an amazing episode too. So Google that one, Jamie Mo Crazy on BS3MD, to hear that story, because her mom and their foundation does amazing work helping people recover from that. So this will be an interesting episode to compare what Chris has gone through.
Absolutely.
All
right.
Well, check out our new fancy website, bs3md.com, where you'll take a little ride with Tim on the homepage on his motorcycle, and then into the website where you can navigate some of our Truth Serum episodes, see all of our videos that are posted on Rumble, YouTube, and elsewhere, as well as a lot of other fun photos of us. So please check that out. Write to us anytime, doc@bs3md.com. We love your emails. We love your suggestions. And thanks for being there and listening. All right, everybody. Till next time.